Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well. Once again, I appreciate you all finding the time to join me on Chelsea Perspective, and I am your host, Kachila. Today, it will be a mashup of the Blue Morning Show and the pregame show, where we'll look at Mauricio Pochettino's lineup for the home game against Sheffield United. It will be a difficult one, and that's because Charity FC is well and truly in existence, and we tend to struggle against teams that defend deep or with low blocks if you that's the language you prefer. But hopefully we'll get a win today. But that's, by the way, more importantly, welcome to another Blue Money show. And all I have to say right now is sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. I do hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. As for me, that's what I do. But once again, thank you for joining me. I am your host, Kachila. Hopefully, we'll have a fun show today. And the first person in the house is Namaya Fawole. He says, our season is final. Our season finally begins. Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know that our season starts today. And CFCOJ, nice to see you, brother. Have high hopes for Nkunku. Better not get injured again. I hope so. I hope he stays fit. And Ty is in the house. CFC station. I'm sure all of you there already knows his. Are subscribed to his YouTube channel. If not, go check it out. Click at the three dots to his name. Click on go check out YouTube. Visit YouTube channel and then subscribe. And we have Lamin Ba say hi guys. So big up. This is a must win. Every game is a must win. From now on, that's because we've lost too many and in danger of finding ourselves in a relegation battle. Good morning, people. A lot of people must say nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. You know what to do. And when I get to it, if I have the energy, I'll talk about it. Rain is in the house. Nice to see you. And my bro is in the house. Constantine Dan. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And quickly, before we move on, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. We understand. But we want to ask you for one more tiny bit. But first, thank you for watching. Watching alone does go a long way. You provide great value to the community. But we want to ask you for one tiny bit of favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream. And that's because the likes do go a long way. It triggers the YouTube algorithm and gets it and get it to push the stream to more people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up. And that's, by the way, let's start addressing the other items we have lined up before we have the official lineups out. The chances are by now there are some leaks on who's going to start and who will not start. But we move on from that. Let's see. First item says Christopher Nkunku is ready. I think he is, and I think he's been ready for a while now. It's just that the club have been, you can say, we've been careful, and as we were told a month or two ago that the club will be ultra cautious. They don't want a situation where they rush them back. The players will come back, play a game or two, and then get injured and will not be able to play for another 3 months or so. So it makes sense. Hopefully he's ready, fully ready. Hopefully he stays fit. He's an important player. And do I think that Nkunku alone is the sole solution to our problems? I'd say no, but he will make a huge difference, and hopefully we get back the likes of Lavia, Carney, Chukwemeka. Who knows? Carney, we've been told that he's just when you see the injury status has the term doubtful, then be hopeful that there's a chance a player starts the next game. So I'm hoping. I know certainly he will make his debut today. Whether he starts off the bench or whether he comes off the bench or starts the game, that's what we do not know. And thank you, bro, for that. I appreciate you calling me that. Chilla and Constantine Dan. Much love to you. I appreciate you. Always nice to see you here. So we move on to the next item. We don't have too many news items to address. So as soon as we can, we'll go over. We'll start talking about the game. Yep. Let's move on to the next item. All right, and the next one is this one here. Just give me 1 second here. It looks like I didn't hear that, so which definitely means, yeah, my okay. There you go, Real Tech Audio. I think that's that one there. That will be working. So this one here. I am getting the feedback, and I'm not sure how to stop that. Okay, let me see. I think I know. The stream that's going to Instagram is the problem here, so I'm gonna shut off this one. So let's see what else we have here. This here, yep, this second item here talks about Romeo Lavia's return date. I think that's the case. I hope this doesn't. Did he stop it from streaming on Instagram? I don't think so. This says Mauricio Pochettino hopes Romeo Lavia will be in contention to make his debut on the Christmas Eve trip to Wolves. Romeo Lavia will be fit in maybe 1 week or 10 days in total. Pochettino told reporters on Friday. He's another player I want to see ready, be part of the squad. He's an excellent player. I get it. He's still very young. At most right now, he's 20, but he's garnered enough experience than most of the players we have within our ranks right now. So I want to see him play for us as soon as possible. Let's see. I am looking forward to seeing Nkunku, but the question is whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench. We do not know. Hello to you too. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Mr. Angori, thank you for finding the time to join. It's been a minute. I hope you've been well. I hope that the cases that you've been busy and not that anything has happened on your end. What was Romeo's injuries? What was Romeo's injury so long, or why is it taking so long? I'm not too sure. I think it was a knee injury. I just can't quite remember. But I know he's been training for a while. It's just a club being cautious not to risk a setback. And I think he suffered a setback, actually. He suffered a setback and he denied it. But then again, he denied it through a post. He refuted that maybe through a post he made on X, formerly Twitter, saying people doing all sorts of things for clicks. But the fact that he deleted that particular post showed me at the time that, yeah, he did suffer a setback, and that's why it's taking this much time for him to return. And actually, won't be ready until 10 days. But I'm fine with it. I get it. I wouldn't say we haven't missed him, and that's because he fulfilled the sitting six role better than Moses Casado, in my opinion. Yep. Me thinks these Chelsea medics need to be sacked. No. Do you are you aware that we actually revamped our medical department for lack of a better language? We've changed them. I think nearly all of them that worked under the previous ownership, yeah, they're no longer with us. If anything, I think at one point we heard that one of them returned, and that's because letting him go caused a problem between the ownership and the players. Or let me just stick with the players weren't happy that he was let go, and the players felt like he knew them better and has helped. He's been, you can say, significant in helping them stay fit, for lack of a better language. But we move on from this one. Romeo Lavia's report. Hopefully, he'll be back as soon as possible. He's an excellent player. Brings, you can say, a different dimension to our squad. He brings something different. You can say he's the only player we have right now that's excellent at beating the press. He's a better dribbler than Moses Casado. Casado for me is more of an 8 than he is a 6. I foresee a situation where when he's fully ready, he'd be starting centrally in the 4-3-3 structure, flanked by Enzo Fernandez to the left and Moses Casado to the right. But overall, I remember I told you this is an excellent player. Let's see. We have Wima Runner saying that Chelsea players should improve physically. Given what the manager says, a chance, yeah, it's just the manager's, you can say, comment after our loss against Everton is reflective of the fact that he thinks the same. He feels like we need more physical players in the team. I think that will happen. They hit the gym every day after training, so they will improve physically, and plus chances are we'll sign more physical players to have a perfect balance and be able to deal with teams that usually deliberately play, take the physical approach against us, because they know it will unsettle our young and inexperienced players. If that makes sense. Chelsea players should improve. I agree. I've read that one, and this is saying for once I am an early rise Chipchula. And that's my bro, Chimera. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And let's see what we have here from Constantine Dante. This is too many distractions these days for younger players. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And which was why I did, you can say, what you could call an open letter to content creators and Chelsea fans at large, asking them to please be cautious the sort of reports they amplify. For instance, the report that had Axel Disasi, Malo Gusto as some of the players that Chelsea will be looking to sell in January. I told them that's not okay. That's because these are young players, and if they see such a report, it will affect their mindset and commitment. They will not be 100% anymore. Their focus will be to find another club from that time onward. Whether they have, you say, the capacity to dissect and analyze the report to come to a sensible conclusion that it's probably absolute nonsense. Whether they'd have the time to do that, we don't know. So we should be cautious. Yep, these players are still young, and kids will always be kids. So it's a huge risk to always peddle or amplify some rubbish news. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. You did that, coach. Well done. If so, yeah, I did that. Yeah, more of an open letter. I think I can find it and share it with you, actually. I did find it necessary to do that. Hopefully, a lot of people did see it. I think it got 7,000 plus views and around 42 to 43 reposts. These days, not retweets anymore. Hopefully, some of them will see it. But some of them, their brand is defined around being provocative, for lack of a better language, or maybe being negative in some cases. Let's see. I hope Chelsea win, or else it's Poch out. That's Mark Jeezy. Mark Jeezy, I'm quite sure this is the first time I'm seeing you here. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I hope you're enjoying the show. If so, please consider subscribing and also telling more people about a Chelsea perspective, where your voice matters. Here, your opinion matters. What we do is we have a conversation and we learn from each other. We try to come to a sensible, we dissect before us, and then try to come to a sensible conclusion. That's what we do here. So thank you. Feel at home. Express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Let's see what else we have here, Antonio. And if you are following the show on Twitter, please consider following our Twitter account, and also consider joining us here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. And that's because if you do that, you're getting a lot whenever we decide to do a giveaway. We do monthly, and also we have a Christmas. I promised our followers, our committee members, a giveaway on the 23rd of December for Christmas, and hope that you can be part of that only if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. And right now we have 20 likes. We should be doing much better than that. That's because we've heard 30 to 32 people watching at the same time, so we shouldn't have just 20 likes. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. That's because the likes do go a long way. So we'll move on to the next item. Romeo Lavia, hopefully he recovers soon. He will make a huge difference for us. No single player, you can say, will be the sole solution to our problems, but part of the solution. Romeo Lavia, part of the solution. Nkunku, part of the solution. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Item before we go into talking about the match proper, the home game against Sheffield United at the Breach. Says, Coach, I told you you're getting wiser as the beard grows. Maybe Maybe I actually like it, but it can be very sometimes it can be very uncomfortable, and I don't like it when I feel like it's I need to be touching it all the time. But I understand where you're coming from. So this particular report, and I am Rahman Osman. I've trusted him before with regards to Infinite Outlet becoming our new shirt sponsor, and it turned out he was correct. And so I trust him. He hasn't disappointed me for once, and I started following him about 4 months ago. So this time he's saying Chelsea are not going after Ivan. He's more likely to join Arsenal in January, and I think Chelsea fans they've read the room. They've read the handwriting on the wall in a very bold format, especially when he was pictured celebrating what's his name Declan Rice's last minute, or you could say last minute winner for Arsenal, while he was on a treatment, or maybe getting his legs massaged or something. I'm not quite sure what he was doing, but yeah, Chelsea fans sensed it. This guy doesn't want to join us, and we've talked about how he's mentioned how he likes Arsenal, and yeah, some of us knew from that time that Ivan Toney most likely will not join Chelsea Football Club. But if he wants to go to Arsenal, if we can afford to see him, for me, I think he's a better player of the two. Even though I still have questions whether I'll see him at Chelsea will work, but I'll leave it to the manager. If he feels like the club, if he's asked the club to get the player for him, which means he's quite sure he's going to get him fired on all cylinders if he joins Chelsea Football Club. And let's see what else we have here. We have AB, big up to you too. I haven't seen you in a while, and I hope the case is that you've been busy and that nothing has happened on your end. But nice to see you, brother. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have about 9 more minutes before the official lineup drops. Right now, I'm quite sure there will be leaks here and there on X, formerly known as Twitter, but sometimes you can say they've always been correct, and how they get the leaks is what I don't know, but I haven't seen anything yet. Let's see what else we have here. Tone most likely had a bet for Arsenal to win that game. Who knows? And maybe he's found a way to conceal his habit, his gambling habit, and nobody knows. So he was. You can argue even he was following the game from his I think it was a cell phone. Yep. And they keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with 23 likes, but I'm quite sure we should be doing way better than we're doing right now. That's a good coffee, man. I make good coffee if you don't know. So this says it's time. It's that time of the year. It says Jerry C. Jerry C, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Nice to hear you. And if you haven't, please go check out Jerry C's YouTube channel. Click the 3 dots to his name, and you will see one of the items that say something to the effect of visit a channel. Go check out his YouTube channel. Let's help him grow. Let's encourage him to produce some more videos that will go a long way for him. Jerry says, mark the date 16/12/2023 when Poch and the team were transformed this season. I knew that you weren't that serious when you joined the Poch out camp. That's because probably at the time you were frustrated, but probably you've taken your time to realize that you were the one also that told us that Poch has had a difficult start to life at every club that he's coached. I think maybe the whole thing is down to how he draws his players. So his start to life to every club that he's managed are usually different because it takes the players time to cope with his training regime, for lack of a better language. But nice to see you get back to your ways of educating people that, yeah, he's the right man for the job and will do well. Right now, I still think I still think the same. And I'm going to say also that if we get the only time I'll start judging him is when we'll have all our players back for a while and I'm not seeing progress, then it's a problem with the rest of late, and that's because our average goal per game went from 1.8 to around, I think, 1.6 right now. Even 0.2 is it's a lot. But nice to see you. It's easy to conceal. Just use someone else to do it for you. Yeah, But here's the thing: if you follow the money, you still find out that he's involved. Yep. If you follow the money, you still find out who's paid money into whose account, and then they can figure out whether he's the one paying for that person's habit. Oh yeah, a flipper chooses a Sheffield United at home for that to happen. I mean, we're capable of beating them on paper, but you cannot script football. It's really that simple. Roger, realistic. Roger is in the house. The chairman of the Goalkeepers Union is in the house, and I'm going to go back to starting Roger with this one, whether he's looking forward to seeing Nkunku play and what sort of difference he thinks it'd make. Roger, I appreciate you finding the time to join. So, Roger,
really, coach? Hola, senor.
Let me big you up. Hopefully you don't fall and fall so hard.
Splat right on my face, right?
No. You always fall. You're always objective. Roger, let's hear you. Nkunku, somebody, that's a screenshot of his Instagram post. He's letting people know that he's ready with this post here. I don't know. Do you think he starts or do you think he comes off the bench? I think there's a chance he starts, and that's because he's been training for a while now. But whatever one you think is gonna happen, how much of an impact do you think he will make? But let's hear you. The manager thinks he will be the one to lead us to top 6 or top 5 or top 4. But let's hear you, Roger.
Yeah. Listen.
Are you there, Roger? Can I?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
I'm not sure in what capacity he contributes, basically, but honestly, I don't see him starting based on the fact that it's been 3 months approximately since he last played. Don't forget, you can train, but you can't duplicate the actual ferocity, the speed of an actual regular season game. So therefore, I think it's highly unlikely that he actually will start. Is it possible? Yes, but I doubt it, especially when you're coming back from a major surgery and injury. I think, assuming I'm correct here, I think for the next 2 to 3 games, he's going to have a very minimalistic contribution time-wise. That doesn't mean he can't contribute goals or assists, etc. But I'm not relying on him or depending on him to make any significant contribution. This calendar year, actually, to be honest with you, starting January, I expect him to be a full contributing member of the team. So this is my, shall we say, somewhat conservative approach to his return, and rightfully so. Listen, he could start, he could play 70, 80 minutes and get a hat-trick. I just don't see that happening due to medical reservations. And we've seen with Poch and his coaching staff, they have not been shy to just start people coming back from injuries at a very minimalistic time, on for 5 to 10 minutes, etc. And I have no problem with that, because I think he listens to his medical staff. They have meetings every week, and they have spreadsheets, and they will actually talk and discuss about which player is available for how many minutes based on their individualistic medical status.
Yeah, and I think it's good that they're not in a rush to bring players back into the fold, because really, where whenever the player the player recovers, we just put them back in, and has led to us you can say Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic not staying fit for a while when they were still with us. Realistic, Roger is in the house, and let's see. I'm not sure so much of that. I think. Yeah, here's the thing. Nightbot is going to time you out. Andrea, thanks for joining us on Twitter. Please be sure to follow our Twitter account. If you're following us on Twitter, do us that favor of following our Twitter account. And we have a Rich Moneymaker is in the house. Hi, Coach. I am back. Yep, back again. We're here together. Let's have a very good show today, hopefully. And this one here is saying, hi, bro, this is a must-win. I think so, too. We will be going for a spectacular this time. I hope so. And because you're not a moderator yet, avoid using more than 3 emojis Otherwise, Nightbot is going to delete your messages. It's a machine, and I haven't figured a way to get it to be a bit more lenient. I'm not sure how to do that. And this year, it's saying Nkunku will have an impact to too much quality, not too, but Poch making him sound like the Messiah. You could say that could lead to to him being under so much pressure and not being able to measure the level of performance we expect him to produce. But I think he's a big boy. I think he can deal with that. Hello, Roger. Somebody here saying hi. I'm not sure who that is. 05. Then a language, a writing that I can read.
Thai. She's from Thailand.
Okay, from Thailand. Okay. And we have Oscar, the Beast. Oscar, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this morning. Oscar is grounded today. Who is this? I'm not sure what's going on here. Joined. Okay, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, there you go. Yep, Roger speaking the language he likes to speak in the chat there. Coach, have you told Oscar your logo is copyrighted? Don't worry. Oscar is a friend. He can keep it. I've seen somebody join the chat with the name Chelsea Perspective. All I had to say, wow, good name. Don't worry about don't worry about that. Big up Dodger, Roger out. Yeah, you start. Okay. I dropped Enzo for Gallagher in my prediction. Sterling, Mudryk, Palmer, and Jackson to start. I nailed it. Really? Did you? Enzo dropped to the bench. Okay. We knew Gallagher was going to start. I don't know how we're going to do with that Enzo, but we'll find out. Maybe the manager, it's his job. He knows what he's doing, so we'll find out. I think the lineup, yep, should be out by now. Roger saying hello to group finally. Let's look at this one.
Yeah. Thank you, Constantine.
Yeah, this one here, Roger is saying Romeo Lavia, you've heard, will be ready in 10 days. I'm fine. But this one is saying Chelsea are not after Ivan Toney. He's more likely to join Arsenal. That's by I am Rahman Usman, and I trust him. This has been always the concern. The concern of Chelsea fan is that he's twerking for Arsenal. That's the language they use. That may well be the case. It looks like he wants to go to Arsenal and then come to Chelsea. And one of the reasons I say that is we did see him enjoying and put out a post with regards to Declan Rice's it's a 90th minute or 90th plus minute winner for Arsenal. I don't know whether to interpret it the same way, but here's the thing. They think that's the case. Maybe that's what it is, but we don't know. We have CFC OG is in the house. Big up, brother. I hope you're doing well. He says, big up, Roger. Much love to Roger. Nobody's saying big up, Coachella. CFC OG, when you get a sense, share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. Yep.
It's the aftershave, obviously.
Hi, Coach. The lineup is out. I know we'll get to it in a bit. Enzo dropped. Yep. Maybe he's tired. Why drop Enzo? Creativity is gone. Creativity from a deeper area. If we have creativity, look, the manager, he has to be as tactical as he wants to be. Maybe he prefers Enzo to be maybe get rested and be fully ready for the next game. I don't know. It's his job. But let's see how the game ends. There's a way it will end up. People will be now start telling him that's why you don't drop Enzo. Why drop Enzo? Creativity is gone. You think, let's see. And he hasn't created that many of late, in my opinion. Enzo rested more like it. I think that's the language you should use. Yeah. I know you're not grounded. So let's start looking at the lineup now. Need him for Tuesday. Yep. You can say Tuesday is more important right now. The Newcastle United game. So let's move on. Let's see. Before we start looking at the lineup, let's read what Logan has to say here. Yep, lineup is out. Logan is saying, guys, please understand 1 game per week is super heavy for these kids. Wow. He's obviously being sarcastic here. They need rest of day to recover. That happens when you buy a bunch of regular guys for 100 million. Be patient. We need to be patient, in all honesty. I have to be honest with you. Good lineup to Sheffield United. Yep. Because that's the sort of game Enzo struggles. No chance against Newcastle United. We have a chance. I think we're winning that one. And Nkunku present will bring an impact. So let's see. Look at the lineup here. Petrovic, obviously, two centre backs, Thiago Silva and Badia Chile. So we're going with four centre backs. And Roger, when we were predicting the lineup, we also did suspect there's a chance he will do this, and that's because
Yes.
we
Do you
did
remember?
well with,
I
go
actually
ahead.
mentioned the provisor, if Gusto didn't start, that he would play Badia
Mhm.
Silva and Disasi as a right back, and that's exactly what has transpired. Because you know, when you're out with an ankle or any injury, actually, then
Mhm.
it's quintessentially the right way to do it.
Mhm.
It's listen, the lack of medical reporting regarding detail has a lot to be desired for. So it's purely an assumption based outlook. So that's why I put that provisor in our last show to state that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's quite interesting. It's an interesting lineup, coach. It really is.
It is in so many ways. In so many
A-
ways
And
that, yeah. Go
and
ahead.
more specifically, you have Nkunku on the bench. You know,
Yep, you have.
which is
Let's look at the bench. And let's look at the bench in totality. Alex Matos, that's one of the right backs. I think Amanda Broya,
yes.
Christopher Nkunku, Enzo Fernandez, Alfie Gilchrist, Ian Matson, Malo Gusto, Lucas Buxton. So I think he's concerned about. You can say he's concerned about defensive solidity. And again, I know I've said this before. We suspected he was going to do this, and that's exactly what he's done. And we did
And look,
argue that's because the defensive line did well against Brighton in the Premier League. But go ahead, Roger. What you're saying?
but it's fascinating. With the exception of Broya and Enzo, this is a very thin bench, realistically. If you look at the actual experience and you look at the quality, it's
Mm.
it's wafer thin, or as John Cleese in Monty Python would say, wafer thin. It's exceptionally thin. You know,
Yeah, we don't
Bet-
have depth there.
Bettinelli is our backup keeper now. You're looking at multiple positions that we're using third and fourth string people.
Mhm.
This is a skeleton.
It is
Um,
indeed. It's not. It's no. It's not much different than the last time we had. We had too many young players on on the bench. What game was that? I can't quite remember. But Roger, let's talk
virtually
about
every.
this.
Going
Before I,
forward, it's very interesting, coach.
yeah, it is. It is indeed. I'm gonna come back to you in a bit. I'm gonna go to Ty to see what. Before I go to Ty, Roger, I want to get your thoughts
Hello, Ty.
on why you think he dropped Enzo Fernandez. But I'll come back to you in a bit. And Kunku's
Well,
present. We'll bring. I'll come back to you in a bit. We'll bring an
sure.
impact today. I don't mind letting Gallagher sit back, defend backline. Hopefully, Casado can move more forward, more. I think that will work because Gallagher, in my opinion, you could say maybe doesn't read the game as well as Casado, but I think he can actually. He's quicker to close down his man that Casado does, in my opinion. Biggest blow is Jackson starting. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, by the way. I'm gonna say this. Hopefully, he proves me wrong. He proves me right. I think we've been better off when he was on the pitch than the last time we saw Broya. Broya will get minutes here and there until he picks up and starts a game and proves that, yeah, he's better than Jackson. I think the manager will keep faith in Jackson more, in my opinion. Oscar, we said hi to you, Oscar. I hope you're doing well. Why just not play three center backs? If so, many center backs, like I was saying, go 3-2-4-1. I think he's just done what we suspected he'd do today. That's because with four center backs, we did well against Brighton. Yep, we're seeing it here. Nadia Mohammed, thank you so much for presenting the lineup here once more. This team is so bad, coach. Adriel Parker. I wouldn't say it's bad. I think he's accommodated more creativity up front. Yep, closer to the final thought. But we don't have. I don't think we have any good deep line player there right now, and because Palmer isn't playing in a deeper position. Let's see how we do without that. Poch being so defensive against Sheffield United, you could think and I don't blame him. He just wants to be pragmatic and win games, and hopefully it works out. If you're looking at breaking low blocks, Enzo or Gallagher, needs to make way for a 10. But Gallagher is more athletic than Enzo. Yep. The work rate is what makes him one of the most important players in the hands of Mauricio Pochettino, no matter how you see it, whether you think he's a bad or good player. It's not that bad bench. Need to give those young guys a look. This is when to do it. It only, yeah, I think we have to. And he's actually, when he was asked why does he prefer to keep have just about 22, I think to 25, I don't know how many squad. He said he will make it up with the academy boys. So yeah, and he's known to do that everywhere he's worked. Jackson will score today. I hope he does. We aren't the only team with injuries like this. Poch needs to get the best out of what we have. I think he has to. Coach, that's not how to be pragmatic in games. Maybe that's his own way of being pragmatic. So Reza, let's hear you. What do you make of Enzo dropping to the bench and your cousin, and you can say Mudryk starting? Let's hear you. I have my opinion on that, but let's hear you.
You referring to Enzo being benched?
Yeah.
Sir?
Why do you think he's dropped to the bench?
Well, do we not week in, week out, I should say, complain that we don't rest Enzo enough? He plays incessantly, continuously, without a break.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's given a break, people complain. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I think that's symptomatic. I believe you have to, at some point, give him a break. We played 4 days ago, did we not? So yes, he's young, but your legs go. He's played in international tournaments in South America. He flew back recently. These journeys take its toll, jet lag, etc. And yes, he's very young. I get it. However, when you play continuously, you lose your sharpness. Your creativity, perhaps. And I think it's good for rotational purposes, certainly not because of performance-based, because I don't believe that he has stunk the joint up, per se, more than anyone else. So I believe, in fact, he's been one of our better players for the most part. So I believe it's good to rest him. Listen, this is the lowest ranked team in the Premier League. They're languishing at the bottom. If we can't rest Enzo against this kind of team on paper, then we can't rest him against anybody. So when are we supposed to rest him? The question begs, asking, if that makes sense. So I have no problem. I'm a bit disappointed Broja is on the bench, even though I get it. He's just returning from surgery, and maybe the medical staff says, you know what, maybe he should only play up to 30 minutes maximum in the next game based on medical advice. I have no problem with that. But
maybe he's being rested too.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Because of you can't overload a person's body when returning from surgery. So if it is because of medical purposes, I have zero complaints about that. Conversely speaking, if that is not the case, then I'm somewhat disappointed because I would want to see him have a run of continuous and contiguous games played as a starter so he can obtain continuity, so he can build a relationship, a rapport, a chemistry with his fellow starters. Because there's a big difference starting a game so you can work your way into it as opposed to coming off the bench. A, your mentality is completely different, and B, there's just a different mental approach. And so I would like for him to be given and afforded that opportunity to start. But let's see going forward.
Just before, okay, I'll come back to you with the next question. Ty, let's hear your thoughts on the lineup. And I think Roger makes perfect sense. We've been talking about how many games Enzo have played in total from the World Cup to his days at Benfica. After he joined.
You can't agree with me in public. It's not looking good, mate. I have a reputation to maintain.
So I should disagree with you so that the show goes on. But Ty, what do you make of the lineup, the absence of Enzo Fernandez? Because I after that, I have another important question to ask Roger, and let's find out why. But let me leave that right now. But Ty, let's say the lineup. What do you make of it? The absence of Enzo and also the fact that we have Gusto on the bench and he's not starting in the right back position. Let's hear you.
Oh, okay. So,
Hola,
Are you
Ty.
there, Ty?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
No.
go ahead. Go ahead, Ty. Speak.
Okay. I'm still a bit sick, so I probably may sound weird. I'm not sure I sound, but yeah, Enzo being dropped to the bench isn't something that I see an issue with because, as you guys would have alluded to, he has played minutes, minutes and minutes and minutes in. I don't think he's played every match, but he's played most of the matches from the World Cup coming into this season.
Exactly.
Um, I think he played again. I think did we play? Was it Wimbledon that we played against? Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember where he scored that goal. So even in those games where you're playing against lower division teams, he was still playing. So he wasn't getting a rest. Then and I really don't want to agree with Roger, but I have to say this. Um, if you can rest him against Sheffield United, then I don't know when you can because the game. This is an important game, and this is a game that is a must win, and every game should be a must win. But this is definitely a must win because we're in a form that is relegation type. So it's one where this game has added importance on it. But this is a game that I think we should be able to trust Gallagher, Casado, and both players have a point to prove because they haven't performed at the highest level the last time they played. So it's one way to show that we don't need to have Enzo on the pitch for all the games and that we can create without him. And yes, I would have heard when you read a comment, coach, about somebody saying that we've lost creativity. But I would not like to think so because Gallagher has proven that he can be creative in a deeper position. He despite him getting the red card that he got in I don't know what game it was, but he got a red card. He was one of the most important players in that first half because he was the main creator. So I think in that sense, even though I'm not fond of him playing as a sixth or playing so deep, he has the creativity, and he has the physique over Enzo. So I think in that sense we'll be fine. But the whole consensus for me is that Enzo deserves this rest because he's obviously looked like he's drained. It- um, the last game that he played, he looked very lackluster. He didn't look as if he was up to full fitness. He was making passes and they weren't coming off, and all of that can hint and indicate that there's some fatigue. So I'm okay with him being on the bench. I'm just hoping that whatever Pochettino's plan is, it doesn't backfire and that it's effective. But I do have trust in Gallagher, and I hope that Gallagher makes up for his mistakes that he's made in the past because it's not something we need. We need proper playing, and we need to have a proper structure. So I have no problem with that. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
but
opinion.
Ty, it's still a tap in.
Yeah, basically, that's why I like to go first. That's why I like to go first because it's always a tap in because I don't. That's why I want to go first. I want to start the process and finish it, not receive the ball and then just tap it in.
Yeah, here's my response. Great minds, I think alike. But even though
Really?
I prefer,
You
yeah,
went there?
I prefer to argue with Roger than agree with him. But you get the point there. Howard, the lads, Howard, to you too. I hope you're doing well. A Newcastle fans, a fan that likes it to be part of the show here. I appreciate you there. Let's see. Oops, sorry, but it's not as. Cheers, guys. Cheers to you too, and that's because you are not a moderator here. So if you use too many emojis, it will delete your comment. And it's a machine, it's not a human being. So don't feel offended when that happens until I find a way to make it more lenient or more accommodating, for lack of a better language. And Ty, quickly, I hope you're recovering well. Ty has asked the community to pray for him. He has flu. And I can tell you, I get
It's been
scared
confirmed that it's dengue.
that something bad was going to happen to my son. You should see him throwing up. He keeps nothing down. My 7-year-old
Oh,
that I
oh,
stayed, I think 3 days at the hospital. I freaked out so badly that I couldn't believe it. You see, but because the lucky is that my wife knew immediately. She was a doctor, realized as he breathes, he was wheezing. So he was telling me that his lungs is tight, and I was saying maybe he'd be fine before, but he says no, we're going to the hospital. She said no, we're going to the hospital.
Is he asthmatic, coach?
So I understand what you're going through. But you'll be better. We'll keep praying for you. Hopefully you recover fully very soon. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do
Why,
go a long way.
coach?
Yeah.
Coach. Come on, seriously. No, you can't drop that shoot ball. Oh my lord.
No, that's fine. We're one. We're family here. Okay.
No, I'm saying you drop that shoot bomb and then it's just progressing like no man. That practice. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, same
No worries.
here. I'm really.
No worries. I went through it. Here's the thing. He was the one sick. He was losing weight. I was losing weight too because I was scared. Well, my wife, she knows that he's fine. That he will be fine with some treatment, steroids, and all the breathing treatment and all that. So he got better. He went to school for his Christmas program. We were just cautious in case he doesn't collapse. But I think he's way better right now, running around and all that. Helped me set up the Christmas lights. So let's move on. Ty, he's fine. So I'm happy. Enzo being arrested could also be related to the upcoming quarterfinal against Newcastle United, which you could argue the manager sees that as the more important of the two. But I think every game now is important. Overall, let's just go with the manager is resting him because he's played so much of football, in my opinion, in 3 days, which holds a significant importance for our season objectives. Let's see that happening. And that's the blue board analysis in the chat again. Please go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. He will share the link when he gets a chance. The Roadrunner hasn't scored since Arsenal. Does he need another 12 games? Here's the thing. He does something that the manager appreciates. Even if you don't like him as a player, let's leave it at that. And that makes a huge difference. The manager values him for what he brings to the team, and he's going to be there. And Mighty Blues, MI, nice to see you join us via Twitter or X, sorry, formerly known as Twitter. We appreciate that. If you don't have wide backs, adapt and play accordingly to players you have available. Listen, I have issues with this. I see playing as two and Koa playing as three. Let me use the numbers language, but left back and right back. That's because they don't make the overlapping runs that help the wingers a lot. They're not good to it, and that's because traditionally they're not fullbacks. But the manager probably focus right now is to ensure we have a solid defensive line and that's his own way of being pragmatic. That was what I said before. And we have a tie us just a get better prayer from Constantine Dante right there. Pusha V, thank you for joining us. And if you're following us on Twitter, be sure to follow the Twitter account so you don't miss any of our live shows on Twitter. And if you can come and join us on YouTube here, that would be good. Also, I have to move quickly so I don't waste time on reading comments and then the show ends. Let's see what else we have here. That's exactly what the manager did. Colwell and the CC are not novices in those areas. So I don't see the problem. The problem is the offensive aspect of the game. They won't do much, but they will defensively will be solid. But maybe he has a plan to make up of, you could say, the lack of the left back and right back participating as they should offensively. We don't know. It's his job. My own job is to, if we don't do well, look at the game and say, okay, these are the reasons why I think we don't do well. But I'm not too concerned. And he's saying, so I don't see the problem. Yeah, Vic, nice to see you once again, brother. I hope you're doing well. I am actually Ngala has to play. He's deep at the 10. He wouldn't be effective in this game anyway. Okay, let's see what happens. That's your opinion. Constantine Dante, what Roger's saying. Roger, I appreciate your support for Poch. I overheard you on another show recently expressing that we are fortunate to have Poch, and that sentiment resonates with me. And here's the thing. Jerry, I'm marveled at the turnaround from Poch out to back again to Poch in. And that's because I said you've taken your time to realize what you've been preaching to us, that you're actually correct. So, but because emotions were running high for everybody, you switched quickly to Poch out after the Everton game. The magic is set to commence today. Stick by your words no matter the outcome of the game. I'm not going to say anything that every 10 minutes we hear Roger Salam Coach. Vic, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. He is one card away from a suspending. If he gets suspended on Tuesday, Mafam, who are you referencing? Can you be
Probably
specific?
Enzo.
Oh, so that makes it make, if that's the case, that makes it make even more sense.
Possibly.
Also,
I think it could be an amalgamation of many different things.
Yep. Roger teaching me English in so many ways. Amalgamation of so many things, which means a combination of so many things. I like that. I'm not sure how to interpret that because I don't know the meaning. Thank you for joining us. If you're following the show on Twitter, be sure to follow our Twitter account. If you're following the show on Instagram, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Believe me, you will not regret that. I cannot find a dolphin emoji for Jerry Z. Roger, let's hear you. Now, we've had this discussion before where we talked about if Enzo isn't playing, who plays in his stead. And right now, we have Gallagher playing deep. And every time, in my opinion, Gallagher playing deep, from my perspective, maybe I've not been paying attention that well. I think he's better off in the 10th position or in the right wing position
Crystal
an entire season for Crystal Palace, and he was excellent. Wasn't in and out of form. So, what do you think about Palmer playing in the 10 role and Gallagher playing in a deeper position, being deployed in a deeper position? Don't you think would be better off having Palmer play in that deeper position, because Caicedo is not good at helping us control the game or dictate the pace of the game. If anybody has that intelligence, it is Palmer. He reads the game so well. We've seen on occasions where he's read the game, switching the ball from one end to the other.
Exactly, diagonals.
Exactly, diagonals and all that. Gallagher isn't able to do that. As good as I know he's a good footballer. I'm not one of those saying he's a bad footballer, but I think, do I think we can do better than Gallagher? Yeah, but give him credit. He's been one of our best players this season so far. But my point, the argument now isn't whether he's good enough or not. Don't you think would be better off playing Palmer as that hybrid of 8 and 6, or maybe the priority of the manager is having a ball winner in a deeper position? But let's hear you.
You know,
because since if that's going to be the argument, Enzo isn't really a ball winner. But let's hear you.
Of course, there's pros and cons to both arguments theoretically. Listen, this isn't going to be a 4-2-3-1. This is going to be very much a hybrid formation with possession, without possession. So that is somewhat deceptive in and of itself. I believe for the most part, it's probably going to end up being a 4-1-4-1 for the most part. I expect us to have between 66 and 75% possession realistically. And this is what I see transpiring. I think you're right. You know, we've discussed this before. Palmer is quintessentially the most logical replacement for Enzo in a deep lying position because of his ability to read the game and ping diagonal crosses, etc. He does that with ease, it appears, effortlessly. However, you can also conversely state that Gallagher in a deep lying position has speed and strength and more tackling ability than Palmer. I mean, a good case in point, as I've mentioned before, time after time, is that incredibly important last-ditch tackle, last-man tackle against Salah versus Liverpool that basically saved a goal. It had to be perfect. He's proven he can play in both positions. Myself personally, I agree, but that's in a 4-3-3 formation playing as a number 8, you know. I believe that. And you're right. I mean, he's proven it over the length of a season that he can score 11 goals. So, yes, I do see your logic. But I don't think it's going to be as rigid as the formation illustrates. I think it's going to be quite fluid. You're going to see movement about, and not just there. I think you're looking at your front four. You're going to see a lot of fluidity there. You're going to see people. You're going to see, with the exception of Midrich, you're going to see Palmer and what's his name? I forgot his bloody name. Palmer and Gallagher perhaps, or Palmer and Sterling rotating. You know, you're going to see a lot of movement. You're going to see Jackson outright sometimes, as we see each and every week. It's very fluid, so don't let that fool you. It's not as rigid.
And we can let's be honest now. I think the pattern of play will be different than what we've seen when what we see when Enzo is on the pitch. That's because the 2-6s dictate the pattern of play. So I think it changes now. I think you could argue the difference will be more direct. We're not going to do a lot of keeping the ball. That's about we're not in the back line. We do a lot of keeping the ball, but once he gets to the midfield, I think we'll be more direct.
Perhaps. Listen, you don't just flip a switch and all of a sudden, voila. This takes time to build up this chemistry, to passing through lines, to know when someone's going to make a run, etc. And what I want to see more than anything is movement within the front four, not stagnation. They just stand there like statues. It's so apparent when you watch a Chelsea game, then immediately go and watch a Man City game and look at how fluid these front 4 or 5 players are. They're constantly making runs, constantly confusing the back line. And that's how they get open. You seldom see that. Invariably with Chelsea players, when someone does make a run, either the pass is not taken or there's just a lack of movement. And that's what I find distressing. But hopefully over time, that can be overcome.
Yeah, and Ty, I'm going to come to you in a few seconds, but please, I beg you to disagree from Roger, please. But today, Chelsea, we're going to win 3-0. Let's see that happen. Is the Dolphin going into Tuna? Can he lose today? So everyone is it? Wow. And we have Magic Man. What a name. I like that. I feel like we are losing again. These young boys aren't good enough. I think they're good enough. Technically, you could say probably because they're still so much inexperienced players in our ranks. You could argue they're not good enough, but I think they will come good. It will take time. If we won result now, we have to mix it up with experience. It would take time. They will come good, and they will dominate for a while. Good enough, and our expectations are not changing. That's because we've been spoiled. If we lose to Sheffield, that will be your dinner, Jerizi. Okay, have the conversation with him, and I'm not going to get involved. And Mitchell Boy is in the house. Hey, Mitchie, even though I don't like you, this is for you, Mitchie. Anyway, much love though. Much love. I appreciate you, Michi. The selflessness is the reason why we're growing as quickly as we're growing. If you're in the chat, all of you in the chat, from Magic Man, all of you, click the 3 dots to his name. Go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. But Michi, much love to you, brother. Constantine Dante saying hello to Michi. Palmer is miserable on the wings. He needs to stay in the pocket. I think so. He has the intelligence to exploit the slightest of spaces he finds on the pitch. I think that's very correct, Vic. Nice to see you, brother. Once more, I think I've said hello to you already. I think we will smash a Sheffield. If we don't, Victor out. Okay, thank you for starting that yourself because I predicted this formation. Okay, let's see. And we suspected he was going to go with a back 4 or 4 center backs. Hot wings for Vic. Yeah, maybe. I'm going to read this anyway. A holla donkey. Yeah, I like that. Mitch the donkey. And Mitchie now is a Scotch Poch. Yep. And I like that. Yep, it rhymes too. Hopefully Stalin fix his hair so he can perform and not be busy touching his hair. Okay, let's see. We after 2 wins, coach, are fun. I'm not sure, that's a bit jumbled up. I couldn't quite get what you were trying to say there. We will win. I hope so. Mitchell boy, do you think we're going to win today? Mitchell, somebody asked you that question. Respond. He is magic, Mauricio Pochettino. And once again, click the 3 dots to Jerry Z's name. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He deserves. Let's help him get to 1,000 as soon as possible. Let's see. A draw is like a loss against Sheffield United. Poch sees again. It sees this as a positive result. you could argue that given the fact how many games have we lost in a row actually. Let's see. Yeah, 2 in a row. But in 5 games we've lost. Yeah, in 5 games we've lost 3 3 games in total. The form is actually pretty much balanced. The only difference is that our own draw we considered 4 goals. In their draw they considered 1, but I think they've considered more in total. And Ty has shared the link to his YouTube channel, Chelsea Sessions. Please go check it out. All of you in the chat, from Angry to Rich Money Makers, all of you go check out Ty's YouTube channel and subscribe. Let's help him grow. Thank you so much for doing that, Ty. It makes it easier on me to when you share the link. This game is a draw game for me. I think Sheffield will be more up for this. I hope they are more up for this, because if they come out to attack us, it will make it even easier for us. But that's, by the way, Ty. Let's hear you. You can say conversation. The question I asked Roger. Let me ask you the same question. What do you make of a Gallagher playing deeper in the absence of Enzo rather than Palmer, who can actually help us because of his footballing IQ or intelligence, will do better in a deeper position. He's capable of fulfilling the deep line playmaker role. But let's say, Ty, what do you make of it?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, and I'm trying to remember what Roger would have said, because I really want to disagree with him. But what I will say,
just do the tapping, Ty. Just do it anyway.
What I would like to say is that I do prefer not Gallagher. I prefer Palmer to play in place of Gallagher, because I think Gallagher is a bit rash with his tackles and the way that he tries to win back the ball, and Palmer is more composed with it and he uses more IQ. And that isn't to say that Gallagher doesn't have high IQ. I'm not saying that. But in terms of who's more mature and is disciplined when it comes on to trying to retain possession or to win back the ball, I prefer Palmer, because he would have been accustomed to having to play in a role like that when he was at Man City, despite not playing as much games. But when he did play, they would have played him in a deeper position where that is a part of it, and he'd also like to
even for
attack.
the England youth team, he plays in a deeper position.
Right, and especially in the under 21s, I think it is. They play more of a
4-3-3, and he's usually deployed on the right hand side. I just wanted to do a tapping on you to make it even more difficult. Go ahead.
Right. So as a result, I would prefer him in a new position in comparison to Gallagher, because, in all honesty, he's more disciplined in the way that he tries to win back the ball and try to maintain it. Gallagher has proven that he still has a rash way of trying to win back the ball. Sometimes he reacts and he doesn't think about what the outcome could be, because he slides in unnecessarily as well, rather than to try to stand his ground, try to, if he's gonna stretch out a leg out, he doesn't need to be doing a scissor attempt. He's not cutting anything. So in a sense, I prefer to have Palmer in that role, because he's able to have the perfect balance, and he's not going to be doing those tackles out of desperation of trying to prevent the team, quote unquote, from suffering a chance being granted to the opponent. So I would prefer him, in all honesty. But he has been an integral part in what we do when he's played more advanced, so I have no problem with it. And if the plan is to play Gallagher to make him more versatile in playing deeper and also being good at in a more advanced position, then I have no problem with it. But I prefer Palmer, in all honesty.
Yeah, what do you make of this Sassi starting over Malo Gusto in the right back position? Is it a case of Gusto not being ready, or maybe the manager would prefer going with traditional fullbacks against Newcastle United? I don't know. What do you make of it? Or let's say overall, what do you make of us starting with 4 centre backs?
I think that it's unnecessary for 4. I can understand. Well, I can't even say I understand, because I'm not back on the lineup again. I lose on the bench, because I'm wondering. Max is on the bench, so that in terms on paper, I don't think that's necessary, because we do have a left back. He's technically a left back, and to me, I think Levi Cole is better centrally, because he's more. He has higher concentration there. He's been very shaky when he's playing wide. He doesn't have the the concentration that he needs to be having as a left back. And we've seen that as a result of that, he's been beaten when players are playing wide. And in some instances, when we are close to conceding, or if we're going to concede,
Mhm.
it's usually on that side. Yes, we had Kukurea, and Kukurea would have made those mistakes, but Levi Cowell, in terms of distribution and what he can do wide, it's not where he wants it to be for somebody who's going to be playing as a left back or playing as a fullback or playing in a out of position. So I think in a sense it's unnecessary. With Gusto, I can understand because Gusto would have been coming back from an injury and it would be probably a risk to play him from the start, considering he's just coming back.
Mhm.
But I mean, and Disasi isn't really a player. I'm seeing a contrast between Levi Cole and Disasi. Offers more as a wide player when even though he's a centre back, and he goes up. He's able to distribute the ball well, and Levi Cole does have that. But in terms of having to adjust to a position where he has not had to play there prior, it's going to cause him to have a transitional period of having to become accustomed to it. But I prefer the Sassy playing as a right back in comparison to Levi Cole playing as a left back. I really think it's unnecessary. But I'm interested to see what happens with Badashile and Silva. It's been a while since I've seen that pairing. And I would like to see what happens because I think Benoit is the closest thing we'll have to a what's it called? The protege for Silva when he leaves. So I'm interested to see what happens. But I think it's unnecessary to play four. If you're gonna play more than two, Bisasi, I can understand. Levi Cole is one where I think is a bit of a risk because he hasn't shown that he is one you can trust in that position just yet.
I hope we win because if we don't, people will roast Poch for playing for playing. Let's say left back, we don't have any other option right now. People still roast him because Matson is there, but they will roast him mainly for the right back position. Why Augusto didn't start over just to see. But then again, let's see what happens. Teams see us now and only see 3 points grab. Wow, I don't blame you. We will have a lot of possession. Sheffield usually gives teams 60 to 70% and then try to hit them on a break. The only question is, what will Chelsea do with over 70% today? Yeah, let's see. Hi, Roger. Question for you, Roger. I'm going to read it out for you. What do you think of our lineup? Do you think we will win today? Thank you for throwing that at him and not me. Roger, you go ahead. Let's hear you. Roger, the soothsayer.
I wouldn't go that far. I personally, gentlemen, I have no idea what can transpire today. We could lose 3-0. We could win 3-0. Who knows? It's a toss-up. Obviously, I think based on paper, obviously, which we know the game is not played on, I believe we stand a good chance of winning. It's at home. We're playing against a team that, yes, has a new manager and is receiving the new manager bounce. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're playing a team that, shall we say, is lacking in skill sets. They're in 20th for a reason. They're newly promoted. It takes a while to acclimate to the speed and the skill sets in the Premier League, and they're not well equipped with that due to finances, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We should win theoretically on paper. If these are the games that we cannot afford to drop points, simple as that. Anything else is inexcusable. And to be honest with you, if we do drop points, even in a draw, the pressure will mount to an extent that will be quite noticeable. And I think it can only, there's a snowball effect, and he has to curtail this. He, meaning Poch and the coaching staff, have to start winning, gaining maximum points, especially when you consider our next 3 or 4 opponents. On paper, they are all winnable. But you know and I know that that is seldom the case with this team. You know, we seem to gift teams opportunities, and we are seldom gifted in the Christmas spirit the same opportunities. So, I think we'll win, but the players have to turn up. The players have to play with intensity. They have to do the basics. They can't afford to make defensive errors, and we can't afford to miss opportunities going forward. We have to be more clinical. I sound like a bloody tape recording, but this is the honest truth. It's like add water, rinse, repeat, right? But I'm confident we can come away. If we don't, will I be surprised? Absolutely not. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I understand, and that's Roger's most formal way of saying Charity FC still exists. If you're paying attention. But thank you for answering that question, Roger. I sincerely do appreciate it. Exactly, we use it to pass back in sideways in our own half and half line, and that's becoming teams target us right now, knowing that we're not well rehearsed, expecting us to make mistakes so that they can capitalize on that. Create chances for Jackson before he sends the ball to Moss. Paul Petrovic better have high passing boots on. I think he would do well, but starting as he did for us, his first start being, you can say, haven't happened the way it did. Usually not easy. Today, I anticipate witnessing a distinct, dynamic, heightened. That's the Jerry I knew. Intensity and an elevated level of Chelsea's approach and mindset. The training conducted this week for the preparation was extensive. Okay, thank you for saying that. And by the way, let's just an applause for Jerry for coming back, because we have our Jerry back now. That's how Jerry speaks. Yep. All right, just like the previous game, I'm not sure what you're referencing there. And Mitchell Boy says a 3-0 to the Chelsea. I hope we win. That's not going to be bad. Gusto should not play more than 25 minutes today. I don't know why everyone thinks he will start. He's only right back and he needs to be protected. Maybe. Then it makes sense. Just protect him a bit. So let him rotate with Desasi, who's also he's played in the right back position before. Just responding to Jerry Z there, and he says, "I like Michi. Sounds good. Okay, you seek positive reinforcement all the time. I see that. If we lose, Poch should be sacked. And Edro Parker, I don't think he will be sacked, but you have every right to express your opinion. I think he will have to the end of the season. He will take some awful, lengthy, poor performances before they decide, you know what, it's not working. But if we're getting results here and there, he will finish the season, because there are reasons to believe that everything will, you can say how badly we've done of late isn't down to him being a bad manager. Multitude of reasons. What's that language Roger used? It's a combination of something that meant combination.
Amalgamation. It's a plethora of reasons.
Exactly. It's for amalgamation of reasons, not just one. The overreactionary fans will come for Poch's neck if the kids get manhandled again at the pitch. Wow, Chimera. Okay. The setup shows Poch's mindset at all costs not to lose. I am not a fan of that at home against bottom teams. I think we should just go at it, give it all our best, attack them, and try to win the game. I've heard Poch have had a word with the players. Yep, they had a bonding meeting or Christmas meeting or that to fight hard for this club. Thanks, Roger, for your answer. Wow, Roger makes a difference in someone's life today. AI Jerry, but that's our Jerry. Our Jerry is back. That's the way Jerry speaks. Very articulate, strong languages. What other coaches available if Poch is sacked? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Flick and Nagelsmann. Flick will not do well in the Premier League. I'm going to keep saying that. He will not, except if he changes his approach. The high line, too much risky. He will be exploited in the Premier League to the max, in my opinion. And Nagelsmann will not take this crisis. This is job is a career suicide for many of them. That's another way to say it. Anyone on the panel seen Petrovic play before? Not live, except from highlights. Score predictions: 4-0 Sheffield United. Okay, let's see what happens there. And literally, Sheffield is last place bottom team. Let's actually look at the table, and that's when I get concerned. Yeah. that's when I get concerned. And there's something else I wanted to look at here, Roger. If you're looking at it here, that's when I get concerned too. The insights said something that they haven't won an away game in the last 7 matches. Those two factors combined is when I get scared.
Then.
But really, Roger, I don't know if I've asked you this question. I think, let's talk about it. I think Charity FC is a mentality thing where the players, because of inexperience, they don't learn to respect every team, to play every game as if it's a final. They go into some games with the mindset, oh, this game, these guys are in the bottom table. We're winning this. You don't see that extra push that we saw against Arsenal, against Manchester City, against Liverpool, against the so-called big boys. You don't see that extra push. They seem to go into such games with the mindset, yeah, it's 3 points for us. Let's just go. It's a mere formality maybe, but let's hear.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Coach.
Roger, what do you make of that? Is it a mentality thing for you?
It could very well be a mindset or lack thereof. It could be a naivety, a lack of concentration, obviously a lack of experience. There is no easy game. You can speak to every world-class coach / manager that's ever worked in the Premier League, whether it's Mourinho, Ancelotti, etc., etc., etc. They would all tell you there is no easy games, period. And it seems to me the mindset has been on occasion that all we have to do is show up and we get 3 points. And that's not the case. I don't know whether it's naivety or not. I really don't. But this is the manager / coach's responsibility to make sure that his players are within. They have the right mindset, the right concentration, the gung-ho, the fortitude to compete and to compete with every tackle, obviously cleanly, not to take tackles off or not to track back. The little things, the basics, the fundamentals, these are the things that make a difference. And at times we have exhibited such a attitude, a lackluster attitude, if you will, and it's disconcerting, let's be honest here. But you know what? I respect this coaching staff. Whether we lose, win or draw today, that should not be the end-all be-all for the coaching staff. We should not dismiss them because of that. There is a reason and a multitude of reasons, a plethora of reasons why we are where we are in 12th. Yes, I think everyone should and could and can look in the mirror and say, I am partly to blame. I think that's a fair analysis with regards to that. No one is innocent of not doing their best. That not because of a lack of effort, but because of mistakes made, whether it be mental or physical, from the coaching staff as well as the players. I think they can all hold their hands up and state that unequivocally. But I just want to see a more consistent team week in, week out. But that's very hard to do when you have a lack of experience and leadership all over the field, which we don't have.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roger, for that. Ty, anything else you want to say before we call it a day? You there, Ty?
Did I just like did I just make Ty go to sleep? Did I lull him to sleep? I have that effect on people.
I think his connection is fluctuating. I can tell that's because he comes in and off the studio. But Roger, let's get your final thoughts so I can get what we have in the chat and we can call it a day.
Yeah, I genuinely, I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm dying to see this certain amount of players to play. Specifically, if you're looking at, for instance, Nkunku. I don't want to see him come on unless it's 70 to 80th minute, assuming he's fit. I'm looking forward to this immensely. I really am. And I want to see certain improvements with players. I want to see a good performance out of my cousin. I don't want to see a 0 out of 3.
I think he's due for one, isn't he?
Well, the odds say that, yes, but he's so inconsistent. It's not easy watching him at times, Coach. You know that.
Yeah.
But I want to see a good performance from everyone. I want to see the game finish with 11 Chelsea players on the field. No cards, no stupid mistakes, no kicking the ball away, no petulance talking back to the refs, etc. I want to see a disciplined, professional performance with effort, with skill, with clinical approaches, with a lack of defensive errors. This is what I want to see. I want to see a professional appearance, and I want to see it every bloody week for 90 plus minutes. This is what I want in a perfect world, and peace in the Middle East. But you know how that goes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Raja. We now need just less than 100 more subscribers to get to 18,000 subscribers.
Wow.
There. Yep, that's how well we're doing, and I think we're growing because of our selflessness. And we work with other small YouTube channels like us. We're growing together. Even Lampard would do better than Poch with this team. I don't think so. Maybe, I don't
Here
know.
we go.
Yeah, I don't know. Please, guys, don't spoil Rich Money Maker's Day. And the same Petrovic hopefully wouldn't have much to do. He is a 68% of passing accuracy in MLS just for preference. I think that's good because they charge at you like a trailers at MLS, in my opinion. Nkunku's a debut goal, and he busts out the balloon. I hope he has one. We should win a 2-0 for me. Let's see. And Vic here talking to Dante. Poch is doing everything possible to keep his job. This problem is not entirely on Poch. It's a collective responsibility. I think I agree with you. People, if you have joined us from X, formerly known as Twitter, please be sure to follow our account there so you don't miss anything. This is saying no fatigue. Did you post this? Is this on YouTube or on Twitter? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like that's on YouTube, but it's saying it's showing X. Twitter. Sorry?
It's X because it has the X icon and then
it
has the YouTube icon.
Yeah, so that may well be the case. I think we should sell injury-prone players because the opposition are not going to wait for our players. I think I agree with you, but I don't think the club would do that. To get in shape, I understand what you mean. Anything else here to address Matson out? We have and that's Relentless. Is that the name saying that Matson out? Let's see. We have we have anyone on yellow to miss a cup game? I'm not sure where we're at with that. When opposition teams salivate at Stamford Bridge, a charity donation. I hope they do otherwise today. So we have to end the show now, and quickly I'm going to say thank you to Roger for finding the time to join the show this particular morning, and thank you to Ty for finding the time to join us this particular morning, and Tamara, thanks to you, and Constantine Dante, much love to you. No Fatigue, much love to you. Who else? Again, Rich Money Makers, much love to you, and Magic Man. All of you, and if I missed your name, apologies. And Chelsea Mitchell, boy, if I miss your name, apologies. Vic, much love to you. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
More thanks to you, brother. Possibly.